The NFL action kick-started earlier last week. Super Bowl winners Kansas City Chiefs beat Baltimore Ravens to begin their title defense. But the biggest talking point came from the weekend's regular season opener between Dallas Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns. And no one was talking about the game or the highlights of the game. The biggest chatter was around Tom Brady. That's right. The match saw the comeback of Tom Brady of sorts at the NFL, not as a player but as a commentator. The 7-time Super Bowl winner was hired by the broadcasters as a color commentator, meaning Brady's job was more than just to analyze what was happening at the game. Now, you see, a commentator can describe the event as it happens, but a color commentator usually has to do more, provide more insights, and that too interesting ones during the match, make it more colorful for the viewers catching the game. And the star power that Brady brings with him meant the focus wasn't on the match, at least not alone. This time it was not the play, but the announcer who was hogging all the limelight. But the much-awaited debut didn't go as planned, because fans ended up paying a bit too much more attention than usual on every single thing Brady said, dissecting every word of his. And they did not miss a thing. The seasoned NFL fans that they are, they picked up the jitters on Brady's face and the discomfort in his voice. So while Brady was hoping for a touchdown on his broadcasting debut, it resulted in a bit of a failed field goal. That ought to hurt. A lot of dead air spaces resulted in fans going after Brady, like you saw. And it's not like Brady was walking into unfamiliar territories. He had to talk about the sport that he has ruled for years as a player. Here's a guy who has led the New England Patriots to 6 Super Bowl titles, won the Best NFL Player award thrice, and walked out into the sunset as one of the best who's played the game. But Brady was becoming a prime example of what we often are told or we hear. Even the best players, legends of the sport, will not make great commentators, like we see across other sporting disciplines too. Now, I understand the transition. It is the easiest and probably the most rewarding one to pick up. Also means you get to continue to be close to the action, so you do not miss any of it, or at least it feels like you aren't. Players often take up commentary duties after leaving the sport. We've seen that in cricket, tennis, football, where athletes join as commentators, a growing trend in the world of sports, because for broadcasters too, a popular and familiar face means more people tuning in, more viewers coming in for more than just the game. But the first outing for Brady was a rude one for sure. And really, it was a sign that Tom Brady is human too, something his heroics on the field never portrayed. On the pitch, he was superhuman, but he was still the rookie faltering in the broadcast world. And the one facing most of the brunt, though, a tad more than Brady himself, were the broadcasters. So why have fans not been too welcoming and harsh towards Brady and the broadcasters? Now, there are a few reasons for this. The first was the hype that was created before Brady's debut. Now, that is understandable. If you have managed to get a legend of the sport to finally commentate for the very first time, you will promote it to the hilt. But it was Brady's lack of eloquence and being a little uneasy about the whole thing that led to fans criticizing all that publicity for nothing, because the color was missing from the color commentator. Fans, of course, placed the blame on the broadcasters more so for not easing Brady into the job. But the biggest lash out was because of the money that was doled out to get Brady on board. The $1 million deal Brady and the broadcasters signed for this gig. The athlete reportedly signed a $375 million deal for a 10-year period. So with so much cash on a display not as appealing as it was advertised to be or promised to be, fans ended up being brutal. And Brady's promotion also resulted in another commentator who has been around, Greg Olsen, to be demoted. Now, Olsen's been doing this for 3 years and was loved by fans for his sheer screen presence. So all that cumulative hate was being thrown at Brady for his first ever stint. Some, though, came out to support Brady, very few and far in between. No, I agree first impressions are important. They often end up being the last impression, but commentary is an art. It either comes naturally or he or she just needs time to hone their skills to get that much better. Maybe it was the jitters of making a debut. It's like American football. A rookie can often feel overwhelmed by the moment and the sheer bigness of it. So maybe Brady was sensing some of that. And no matter how much nerves of steel the quarterback had shown during his playing days, commentary is a different beast to tackle. So maybe this persona needs some time because Brady isn't going away, given his 10-year deal as of now. And if we know anything about him, it's that he never gives up.